The things most people want to know about are usually none of their business. Common people do not pray, they only beg. A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. There is nothing that can be changed more completely than human nature when the job is taken in hand early enough. Clever and attractive women do not want to vote, they are willing to let men govern as long as they govern men. Youth, which is forgiven everything, forgives itself nothing. Age, which forgives itself everything, is forgiven nothing. Youth is such a wonderful thing. What a crime to waste it on children. Even the youngest of us may be wrong sometimes. It is all that the young can do for the old, to shock them and keep them up to date. The man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and about all time. You must not suppose, because I am a man of letters, that I never tried to earn an honest living. Words are only postage stamps delivering the object for you to unwrap. The only way for a woman to provide for herself decently is for her to be good to some man that can afford to be good to her. The only man I know who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes my measurements anew each time he sees me. The rest go on with their old measurements and expect me to fit them. Some men see things as they are and say, "Why? I have dreamed things that never were," and say, "Why not?" Democracy is a form of government that substitutes election by the incompetent many for appointment by the corrupt few. Virtue consists, not in abstaining from vice, but in not desiring it. The only alternative to excitement is irritability. I was a free thinker before I knew how to think. Though I can make my extravaganzas appear credible, I cannot make the truth appear so. Few people think more than 2 or 3 times a year. I have made an international reputation for myself thinking once or twice a week. It is difficult, if not impossible, for most people to think otherwise than in the fashion of their own period. I don't want to talk grammar. I want to talk like a lady. A nap, my friend, is a brief period of sleep which overtakes superannuated persons when they endeavor to entertain unwelcome visitors or to listen to scientific lectures. Decency is indecency's conspiracy of silence. There are no secrets better kept than the secrets everybody guesses. Science is always wrong, it never solves a problem without creating 10 more. What is the matter with the poor is poverty, what is the matter with the rich is uselessness. The golden rule is that there are no golden rules. Science becomes dangerous only when it imagines that it has reached its goal. No question is so difficult to answer as that which the answer is obvious. Revolutions have never lightened the burden of tyranny, they have only shifted it to another shoulder. I feel nothing but the accursed happiness I have dreaded all my life long, the happiness that comes as life goes, the happiness of yielding and dreaming instead of resisting and doing, the sweetness of the fruit that is going rotten. I often quote myself. It adds spice to my conversation. All progress is initiated by challenging current conceptions, and executed by supplanting existing institutions. You cannot have power for good without having power for evil too. Even mother's milk nourishes murderers as well as heroes. Self-sacrifice enables us to sacrifice other people without blushing. The nation's morals are like its teeth, the more decayed they are the more it hurts to touch them. The more things a man is ashamed of, the more respectable he is. Man is the only animal of which I am thoroughly and cravenly afraid of. A miracle is an event which creates faith. That is the purpose and nature of miracles. An event which creates faith does not deceive, therefore it is not a fraud, but a miracle. If women were as fastidious as men, morally or physically, there would be an end of the race. Reminiscences make one feel so deliciously aged and sad. Marriage is popular because it combines the maximum of temptation with the maximum of opportunity. It is a woman's business to get married as soon as possible, and a man's to keep unmarried as long as he can. The man who listens to reason is lost. Reason enslaves all whose minds are not strong enough to master her. We want a few mad people now. See where the sane ones have landed us. In literature, the ambition of the novice is to acquire the literary language, The struggle of the adept is to get rid of it. Leisure does what it likes, labor does what it must, the compulsion being that of nature, which in these latitudes leaves men no choice between labor and starvation.